This is part 2 out of 3 of the Sea of Stars story in short. Go see part 1 first if you haven't. Last time, we left out after the Cataclysm. The Solstice Warriors managed to take down the Dweller of Woe, but Erlina and Brugaves betrayed us by joining the Acolytes. They conjured the Blood Moon, and along with the Dweller's Core, resurrected the infamous Dweller of Strife. Valir and Zale rushed to help the people of Brisk. The Dweller of Strife crashed right into the town center, causing monsters to appear and chaos to spread. We fight these eye creatures and rescue people we find in the ruins as we advance through what's left of Brisk. Our group manages to reach the crater left by the Dweller's crash, and we gather the survivors. Some of them want to move out and find a new place to start over. A small island in the north seems perfect, but the pirate's skiff won't be enough to carry all these people. The next part of the plan is to finally claim the ghost pirate ship, the Vespertine. The pirate's captain was Sarai all along, but it seems like everyone knew that already. And the 4 of us jump on the cursed ship as it briefly appears in our reality, before going back to the Sea of Nightmare. We are welcomed by Hortense, the navigator. We tell her that we're here to claim the Vespertine and defeat Stormcaller. To do so, we first clear out the boat of the cursed crew members and retrieve the map in the kitchens. Then, in order to take down the maelstrom protecting his lair, we need to destroy the 3 lightning rods that power it. Hortense lets us sail, and we head to 3 different islands, each with a lightning rod to get rid of. The maelstrom out of the way, it's time we confront Stormcaller. We challenge him, as well as the ruler of the tides fighting on his side, Hydralion, and come out on top. Back on the ship, the curse is broken, and the Vespertine is free of the Sea of Nightmare, as well as Hortense, who joins the pirates band. While we were away, Brisk is slowly getting rebuilt. We can now freely sail the Vespertine around the world and head towards the northeast to the unoccupied island of New Beginnings. Garl takes the lead as we all join efforts in building a new life here. And in a few days' work, a small town emerges from the forest. A mysterious eerie crypt in the north of the island needs to be investigated. Valir and Zale are welcomed by the Crypt Walker, a friendly strange lantern who decides to show us around. I didn't know this at first, but it contains commemorative stones, statues, and monuments to honor high-tier backers of the Kickstarter. This place doesn't hold much purpose to the story though. It's just a really cool way to thank the people who helped finance the project. Back to the settlers' village, everyone agrees to let Garl name the town, and he decides to call it Mirth. A bit later, we get the visit of the headmaster, who seems to have recovered from the big fight. He was doing research at the academy, trying to figure out a way to stop the Dweller of Strife, and came out with the fact that all hope is lost. Nothing documented can defeat this evil. The headmaster, after delivering the terrible news, resigns, leaving Valir and Zale alone to face the Fleshmancer, and becoming Mirth's new elder. Before we leave, Moraine informs us of what he knows. Only Mesa Island's giant could remove the barrier to the Acolyte's hideout, but it has been put to sleep by the Fleshmancer a long time ago. He says that he knows someone who might be able to help us, and gives us the Coral Hammer. He points us to Watcher Island and the lost city of the Dokari, where we should look for an audience with the Oracle of Tides. He also gives us Evermist Island Shrine Key, which is going to be our first objective. The shrine consists of a puzzle, and rewards us with the combo skill Soonerang. It also unlocks one of the 5 seals present on the doors under the Elder Mist Bond. We now sail to the southeast and reach Watcher Island. The sandy shores are filled with monsters, and we advance forward by following the currents. Unexpectedly, a portal appears and Acolytes 1 and 3 pop out of it. We then fight for the Coral Hammer Moraine gave us. 1 has a shield and can parry physical attacks, and 3 hits 2 targets twice with moderate damage. They also have a combo, the V attack. By the way, since the liberation of the Vespertine, Sarai can use her ultimate ability once the gauge is full, the Vespertine Cannons. This gives us an edge and we defeat the evil numbers duo. They then escape and allow us to reach Lake Dokaria. Over there, we come across a bell that matches our hammer, and from the waters emerges a way up. We meet the temple servant. He welcomes us and lets us choose a seashell. That's hard to say. If we bring this seashell to the sacred grove and let it drink from its altar, our group will get attuned to the deep and will be able to breathe underwater, thus giving us a way to reach the Oracle of Tides. The path to the altar isn't the smoothest. Crows that hit hard ambush us every 30 seconds, and it'll be a mistake to underestimate them. Nevertheless, we managed to reach our goal and let the seashell drink from the altar the temple servant talked about. We can now explore underwater sections by entering whirlpools. We try it and get back to Lake Dokaria. We dive down the lake and deep under the surface, make it to Dokari village. I can't resist challenging the local wheels champion and add another victory to my achievements. I then take the time to explore the village and finally come across someone interested in my rainbow conch collection. Mirth and I will exchange them with mysterious but powerful rewards. It's now time to meet the Oracle of Tide. We tell him we're looking for a way onto Mesa Island. The Oracle proceeds to question the water and Garl gets called upon. When the moment comes, demand a flask of borrowed time, is what the prophecy says. When the Oracle inspects Valir and Zale, he says the ones that the Dokari has been waiting for centuries finally showed up and directs us through the waterfall. A gateway to our world's greatest mystery that is ours to unveil. The path leads to the Tower of Antsudlo, a structure concealing a door that has remained firmly shut since time immemorial. Before letting us through, he mentions that out of all the possible outcomes, there is not a single one where we defeat the Dweller of Strife in battle. No other option now but forward and see what that mysterious tower holds. We fight some shrimp guards who make clones of an ally and enter the tower. It looks like we start on the ground floor, and by elevating the water level and playing around with the valves, we can power on the elevator and reach higher floors. We run around defeating monsters and riding water tubes until we finally make it to the top of the tower and reach the infamous shut door. It looks like we're not different and opening this door seems impossible. Garl then tries knocking. The game takes us back to the Archivist. He says whatever the heroes tried didn't work. The door remained firmly shut. Despite all of our efforts, we didn't reach Mesa Island on time and the Dweller of Strife turned into a World Eater. After fighting bravely, Valir, Zale, and the others were lost along with the world. The Archivist then asks, how far would they go if the door were to be opened? We then hear a knock at the door. Garl's knock. The door opens up to the Great Archives and the story continues. The Archivist is named Reshan, better known as the Immortal Alchemist. Reshan can't directly fix the situation because he's bound to a very strict code that would make things worse. He basically says that the multiverse is real. By fixing our reality, he would unleash Aferol's wrath on countless others. Aferol, Reshan's former associate, is also known as the Fleshmancer. He left our world a long time ago, but would return if he knew Reshan was here. When we ask for his help to reach Mesa Island, he sends us to a remote location where, encased in the ice, lies a long-lost artifact. A portal pops out and we arrive at the Glacial peak. There isn't much to say about this level. It's a pretty classic mix of parkour and battle in a snowy landscape. As we progress through the mountain, big chunks of ice block the way, forcing us to find a different path. Out of nowhere, a portal appears again and acolytes challenge us again. 2 and 4. 2 is a mage that also heals, and 4 hits hard on a single target. Their combo, Dodum, involves throwing a huge chunk of ice onto the target. We actually take them out pretty easily, and they run away. A bit further up the peak, we find the artifact. The Solstice warriors break open the ice prison and find the Solstice amulet, which lets us control the time of the day without needing to stand on a celestial rune. We can now melt away the ice blocking our path back to the Great Archives portal. Reshan has a final challenge for us. In order to remove the barrier protecting Mesa Island, we need to wake the giant stone head. He could make the potion for it, but the process would take centuries. That's why he asks us to recover the Vial of Time, Reshan's personal alchemy bottle that makes him able to control time itself. We accept the challenge, the cleansing of Torment Peak. Ah yes, it involves the Dweller. Now that our heroes possess the Solstice amulet, they realize they can conjure an eclipse at any given time, which means we don't need to wait to defeat the Dweller of Torment. Reshan gives a dose of Tether Mind Potion each. This will prevent the memory loss effects of the Torment Peak. Thanks to our new amulet, the door to Torment Peak is now open, no turning back now. Torment Peak is a foul place, filled with horrendous creatures of flesh and teeth. It's very dark and filled with mushrooms. Thankfully, prism crystals are scattered along the way, making it a bit easier to see where we're going. After a long trip in this desolate land, we meet with a bunch of baby gorilla cubs. They say their mom is down below, but they can't go because of the monster. Apparently this island used to be beautiful, but the Dweller of Torment's power made the place all rotten. After investigation, it seems the gorilla matriarch is one of the divine beasts, kept imprisoned by the Dweller to harvest her cubs for it to feed on. This has all been happening because everyone would forget about what's going on here after they left. We decide to help and go down under to confront the Dweller and cleanse the place. We briefly talk to the gorilla matriarch, and it seems she's already lost all hope. She advises us to leave and save ourselves, but we have a cleansing to do. As we get ready to face the evil entity, we can't think of a way for the eclipse light to reach underground. Sarai says she has a plan, and we rush head on. Here it is. The Dweller of Torment. It took the appearance of the matriarch to lure the cubs to his lair, and we can target it or one of its arms. No matter what we do, we can't seem to do any damage to it until Sarai arrives. The eclipse is here, and we can finally damage our foe. I went with the strategy of focusing my attacks on the arms. That way, the dweller's attack gets weakened, and when both arms are destroyed, we have a few turns to go all out before they heal back up. After a long battle, we destroy it, along with its core this time. The matriarch and the cubs are free, and the region is cleansed. The divine beast lends her help by moving the giant prism, revealing the path through the forest. One puzzle later, the vial of time is ours, and our mission accomplished. We give Reshan the news and the vial, before he decides to accompany us on our journey. His conditions go as follows. First, he may assist in battle, but he has to be the same level as us. Next, we gotta keep his identity secret. And finally, he can't touch a dweller. We accept, and Reshan the immortal alchemist joins the party. Next up, Mesa Island. The giant head is asleep, but a throw of the vial of time is enough to wake it up. Kukar is its name, and Reshan is his master. He agrees to remove the barrier, and we climb our way towards the Acolyte's castle. But first, we need to venture through Autumn Hills and its bug monsters. Our progress is interrupted by the strolling minstrel, a flute player who speaks in riddles and unleashes a leaf monster against us. Defeating it opens the way forward, and we witness Brugave was spying on us. Time for a big flashback, starting 20 years ago in Mooncradle, as Erlina and Brugaves were just kids. They just missed the headmistress as they stumble upon Moraine. Apparently, along with the biggest group of Solstice warrior ever, she went for a cleansing. Moraine says they'll be back swiftly, and then also leaves. The young Erlina and Brugaves patiently wait for headmasters Moyara, the twins, Moraine, and the others to come back to the village, until the unthinkable happens. A few hours later, something is wrong. Only Moraine crawls back home, badly injured. He's the only survivor. Destroying the Dweller of Strife costed around 20 Solstice warriors' lives, and only Moraine, now headmaster, as well as Erlina and Brugaves, remain. Fast forward a few months, the young Solstice warriors' training isn't going very smoothly. The pressure Moraine is putting on Erlina and Brugaves' shoulders is immense, and frustrated by the lack of freedom and fun, they run away. It doesn't take long for them to realize that they should go home, but it seems something snapped within them. The path of the Solstice warrior doesn't suit them. We witness the birth of Valier, delivered by the Great Eagle on the winter solstice, and 6 months later, same with Zale. While our heroes were just kids, we see that Erlina and Brugaves were already plotting with the Acolytes. In exchange for a life without the burden of being a Solstice warrior, they're asked to conjure a blood moon, resurrect the Dweller of Strife, and destroy this world. They would then be sent to another reality, a more favorable one, with the possibility of erasing one's memory if it's wished. It seems Brugave feels bad about leaving Valier and Zale to die, and Erlina says they'll try to convince our heroes to tag along. It's not like they had any other choice after all. Flashback over. The next step towards the castle is the Songshroom Marsh. We'll need to use the Solstice Amulet to trigger the big mushrooms into platforms in order to advance forward and reach a strange cabin. This is Yomara's house. We've already met her evil sister Romaya, but this one pretends to be neutral. Apparently she was expecting us and invites us in. She has a prophecy for Reshan that goes like this. You will meet the dead of a forgotten race. Among them will be one asking to fight alongside Solstice warriors. Be welcoming, for this entity's unbreakable will is the key to achieving the one great feat of alchemy that eludes you still. We need to venture deeper into the marsh to find the exit, defeating monsters along the way and playing around with day and night cycles. And that's it. The way to the castle is upon us. The main entrance is obviously closed, so we go around and find another way in just to be met with yet another door, even bigger than the one before. Surprisingly, it opens. Erlina and Brugave show up, and after trying to convince us to surrender, we engage in a 2v2 battle with our former mentors. It's not an easy battle, and the traders put up a good fight. But after a while, they just leave, saying they bought enough time. We go after them inside the castle, filled with clock-looking enemies. We have to solve a few time puzzles in order to open doors, pull levers, and push buttons until we reach a strange room in the heart of the castle. Some young-looking old people are at work here, building machines it seems. We talk to their leader, Kyle, who explains the matter. Within the castle walls, time doesn't pass. Its resident can't leave or they would die instantly. So it's like a time prison. We tell Kyle that we came to take care of the Dweller. Alas, the door leading to the ritual room is closed shut, and the watchmaker's master key is atop the clock tower. Access to the clock tower is blocked by a magic seal. The crystal device created by these guys reacts with Valier's solstice power and breaks the seal open. Kyle says it's proof that eclipse magic can be catalyzed, and says he can now definitely help us. He adds that, while we fetch the master key, they'll finish the preparation to assist us against the Dweller of Strife, and up the clock tower we go. This level is similar to what we already saw in the castle before. Many time puzzles, clock enemies, and an elevator system to the top that, just like at Ansudlo Tower, requires us to activate each floor to reach the next. The ascent doesn't take long, and we quickly arrive at the watchmaker's office. As we ask for the key, She says she doesn't take part in any conflict. Seconds later, said key falls from the roof, and that's it. Strange interaction. Oh, also, there's a whale stable, but we first need to beat every champion if we wish to challenge her. We go down the clock tower back to the workshop. Kyle's plan is to sneak the device past the ritual room where we keep the acolytes busy, then lure the dweller on the second tower to use it. We open the door and face the acolytes yet again. They're standing in front of a disgusting nest where the dweller is getting to hatch from at any moment. This time, we take all 4 of them at once. Ideal focus order is 2, 3, 4, 1. It was actually not that bad, and we easily beat them. Unfortunately, we took too long, and the dweller awakens and jump out of the castle walls. We run to the meeting point where Kyles awaits us with the device, while being targeted by the dweller. We safely reach the second tower and install the device. The crystal will absorb some of the energy we unleash, and once it's fully charged, it will fire. Reshan takes a step back, as he's not allowed to participate, and we finally get to fight the legendary Dweller of Strive ourselves. The way it works, basically any charged attack or spell that uses Solstice magic generates a stack of Eclipse power that is sent to the device. Once the device is fully charged, it shoots a beam for huge damage to the Dweller. We also have to make sure to interrupt its spells. The eye beam nearly one-shots everything. After 3 laser strikes, the Dweller enrages and knocks down the tower. We wake up a few moments later and keep fighting on the ground. We quickly realize it's pointless. Without the device, Valir and Zale's attack deal next to nothing. Serai urges Reshan to do something, but he refuses, so she steals the Vial of Time and throws it at the giant flying eye monster. All of us are here, along with the Dweller, the Acolytes, Erlina and Brugaves, as the ground starts shaking. A cloaked, shadowy figure joins us through a portal, Iforol. The Fleshman is back. Garl is badly hurt, and with the help of the Elder Mist, he gets a vision. He says he understands now, and mentions the Sea of Stars. 16 hours into the game, by the way. The vision helps Garl remember what the Oracle of Tides said, and he asks Krishan for a flask of borrowed time. Since Garl was about to die, the flask of borrowed time now holds him in between realities. The effects will last until his deed is done, but Garl will die no matter what happens next. Garl seems okay with it and wants to make most of it. He says, to get you across the Sea of Stars, there's people we need permission from. Garl points out that the mysterious shrine out in the ocean south of Mesa Island is somehow connected to the skies, and we should investigate. We make it to the Skyward Shrine Bridge, but there is no way across the water to the other side. This is where Valir's prophecy comes in play. Create paths on water, remember? At the Skyward Shrine, the whole squad gets sent to an island floating high above and reach a place called Cloud Kingdom.